Sports special where sports global conversation. Today Africa takes center stage as Africa Cup of Nations enters into its defining moment with quarterfinals, delivering drama, tactical battles, shifting power dynamics on the continent. Well, a whole lot to talk about today on Talk Sports special, where we have amazing discussions here lined up for you. I am Aniete Patron, of course. I won't be doing this alone because I have my left and right being flanked. I'm of course flanked by my right and left. With you guys who is going to be talking, we're going to be discussing a lot. I'm going to make it quite exciting for you. I have Samuel Odi and I have Ramsey Enoch Agbo with me in the studio. Amazing day. Hello guys, it's good to feel good to sit in the midst of the guys.
Blessed are thou amongst men.
Oh yeah, it's not a trick now.
It's not a trick. You feel more protected.
Yes, I can look for trouble now. Yes. Every time we are going to play third place, Nigeria is going to play third place. Doesn't matter that we missed out the first place we're looking forward to. But I feel with the way you are still beside me, that's how the Super Eagles should feel comfortable. Because the Moroccans are saying we're supporting Nigerians to get the third place.
Well, I think Morocco need to support us.
No, they are actually.
Because you heard what the goalkeeper said now. He said, well, he gave us kudos. Because they never saw that push coming, you know, to play 90 minutes, then nothing, despite the pressure, everything. We still got to where we got to. So Morocco, in fact, the stadium should be filled up today because of
so we have supporters.
The Super Eagles. We have supporters.
All right, so Samuel, what prediction should you have for the Super Eagles going by 5 p.m. today Nigerian time?
Well, looking at it and looking at the history between the Eagles and the Egyptians, it has been the Super Eagles winning most recently. And again, I know it's going to be a very, very tough one because the two teams have depth qualities based on the fact that the first 11 of each team, most of the guys start for their clubs in Europe, and then they are the ones that, like, you know, carry their team, the likes of Mo Salah, Mamouche, and then the list keeps going on and on. And then looking at the Super Eagles side, we all know the guys that we have: Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen, with Simon, big names.
Okay.
All of these individuals
like
still doing great for their club side. So for me, in favor, as a patriotic citizen, in favor of Nigeria, 2-1.
Okay, well, that's the part of what we're going to be talking to you about. A lot of exciting stories happening in the world of sports, and we don't want you to miss out. That's why we have this special edition for you. Well, let's tell you that from giant killings to title favorites, under pressure, we break down what the last 8 have told us so far and what lies ahead. Well, also we'll look at major talking points from European leagues, updates from basketball, athletics, and other sports shaping the international calendar. Well, let's quickly get this into the headlines and give you a breakdown of some of the stories and the highlights. Samuel Odi, before I get back to Ramsey Agbo to give us a roundup of all these highlights that happen across all of the. Let's start with the AFCON first, because that's like the front burner conversation right now, and it's just about rounding up. This is almost like the last week, because we have like 2 matches more.
2 matches more. You know, we saw the quarterfinals where Nigeria defeated Mozambique, and then it was a very, very beautiful game. And at some point we get to the Algerians as well, scaled that hurdle, and then got into Egypt, rather to Morocco, and then they did all they could to be able to scale through, but officiating and some other factors played its own role, and then the Super Eagles of Nigeria weren't able to scale through. They lost due to penalties. And then Senegal as well, we saw a lot of action between Senegal, and again there's been this conversation between Mo Salah and Sadio Mane.
I was going to get to that.
Looking at that now, looking at the 3 times they've met since Mo Salah, or rather Sadio Mane, left Liverpool, it has been in favour of the Senegalese, because in the 2021 AFCON he was defeated in the finals where Senegal won, and then when they played World Cup qualifiers, Senegal made sure that Egypt were not going, and then in 2025 AFCON again we saw Mane himself scoring the goal in the 78th minute. So all of those things now, it's a conversation that keeps going on and keeps sparring that, okay, it's 3-0 between Mo Salah and Sadio Mane. So it's just interesting to see that this 2 African giants, these teams, you know, it was beautiful all through. AFCON was beautiful. No team came slacking, and then everybody was dragged. Everybody was dragged like to the finish. So we saw beautiful beautiful games that we play.
Okay, that brings me to Ramsey. Let's talk about this. There's a whole of illusion, if I can use that word, around the Super Eagles team over the years when we go for AFCON, when we go for major tournaments. Can you say, or would you say, Nigeria now has a strong team, a formidable team from all the years? Because each time we go to AFCON or going to prepare to the World Cup, we keep saying we are building a team, we're building it. Do we have a team now?
Yes, as it is, if you look at one thing stood out for these players, this team. Number one, the energy for me. Then secondly, there is this understanding between the players. You know, before now, Osimhen had suffered in that front. Everybody have talked about that, you know. But this time, with the pairing of him, then Ako from the other side, then Lukman from, you can see how this thing is now working. I've discovered something with Chile. I think his selection process, maybe that syndrome of my boy must play didn't happen this time. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Then secondly, one other thing that he did that impressed me is the fact that he allowed these guys play the wing they play in their clubs. You know, so it's just like there is a continuity. It's not like, okay, you saying this person should play a different wing, all right, and the level at which these guys are fraternizing is superb for me. More so that a lot of them, you can see somebody like Ako. Ako is trying to prove a point, which he's doing perfectly, because this is about the first time he's showcasing his talent, you know, this way. And he's not doing badly. And him now, before now, it used to be the big names. You know, a lot of people were like, when Troostekong was hanging his boot, a lot of people say, he would have waited, maybe till after AFCON. But then I want to tell you the truth. His absence was not that much felt in this game, if you ask me.
Because we're looking out for experience. He has the experience. He's been at AFCON over, and so he should have been the best bet to push Nigeria's. But Nigeria's team, that's the Super Eagles, from what we saw, the trajectory that played out from the beginning of the tournament to the very particular moments where Anna has shown tenacity, it has shown a principle, it has shown strength, it has shown team play, which is one thing that I really got about this. But one concern a lot of people were also raising was the fact that would the NFF still keep the coach on track? Because that's you know, we have the syndrome of if you don't give us the cup, he needs to throw in the towel.
It has to change this time. Okay, let it change this time. So why because even ex-internationals are rooting for Chile to stay. Ex-internationals, and he himself is saying he wants to stay. And as I speak to you, I think about 4 African countries are looking for him, including Mali, where he left. You know, that's to tell you that it's like, now like this guy is good.
So that's the rejected stone becoming the chief coach.
Becoming the chief coach. I was not surprised when I saw, Mali still are like trying to woo him back. Maybe because of what they saw with him, they saw him doing in the Super Eagles. But one thing again, if a coach doesn't get the full support of the players, things won't go smoothly the way it's going now. And the kind of energy and the kind of hunger. Okay, look at the rift between Osimhen and Lukman. You know, that's to tell you of how hungry these guys are. That's an amazing thing. You need to put one or two together. Apart from the coach being fantastic, the players, he got the players cooperation. So all these African countries, all of you rooting for Chile, you guys should pipe low, because it's not just about the coach alone. Though Chile is good, it's done well. They should keep him. NFF should keep him.
Okay, so Samuel, if we're saying they should keep him, what do you think he did differently in terms of the players? Because I saw Wilfred Ndidi speaking tough and saying, for now, he feels the players have had good working relationship, both on the training pitch and also in the field of play, where he knows what to do part-time. What's your take basically on this particular issue about keeping him to handle the national team? team?
You know, just like Ramsey say, I think keeping him is what we should do right now, because Tunisia now are not just weighing him; they are weighing him with $100,000 salary.
Can you imagine?
So that's what they are weighing him with.
Yeah.
But him now, I saw this story where he says that no, he's happy with the Super Eagles,
Amazing.
and then he's happy with the team,
Good.
and then he wants to work with Nigeria. So now the NFF now needs to like change their mindset and give him more room, because he understands the sport now. He understands the player, because both on and off the field, we've seen social media videos, you know, trending where he, you know, shares laughter with them outside being professional. So there's a certain level of chemistry that has been built with this guy. It's just that football, anything can happen, and that was what happened. That's the reason why we were not able to qualify for the World Cup. And then what happened again in the semi-finals, why the Super Eagles didn't advance for that. So looking at Eric now, if he had been around way before the administrative saga started, where we started all of the qualifying matches, I think the result would have been different. We would have probably made it through to the World Cup. But so far, so good. Eric has done a good job. I was one of those that was asking, who is this guy?
When he first came,
I was like, of all the places,
you people are going to bring the coach.
Someone that was even fired. That was
Nigeria.
But now he has proven, because a whole lot of people asked that question, and now he has proven that yes, actually I can actually do this job. And again, they provided him players, because the Super Eagles have a very depth squad, and his introduction of Akko, I think he studied the Super Eagles, and then he watched probably most of our old games on how the defense are always focused on Victor Osimhen, like Ramsey said. But now our attack now is versatile. Like if you are with this guy, the other guy is trouble. If you want to focus more on this other person is also trouble. So that was what I saw playing out during this AFCON, and it has been amazing. Good job, Eric.
See Morocco now. See the way they were holding. See, oh my God.
Let us get it straight. I was actually there when Eric Chelle was unveiled, and when he was introduced to the house, when the NFF brought him out to say, this is the person we feel we can watch it. And a lot of journalists, sports enthusiasts were just like, who is this one? Someone that the point was on his head in the last AFCON, you know, and then you're bringing him to come and take us to the World Cup. Are these people thinking? But one thing I love about Eric is the fact that he was confident. He knew that I have come to change the narrative of things, and I will do that. It doesn't matter the pressure, and I love the way he played around the Super Eagles, especially during the semi-finals. Let's give you a breakdown. The AFCON semi-finals had lived up to expectation, intensity. Trust me, there was late drama and tactical discipline, defending the contest, a lot of confusion. People were asking questions. He's not opening the doors to media to come and talk to. You know, he kept saying, relax, we're cooking something. And each time he said we're cooking something, I love the fact that Nigerians just relaxed and gave him a bit of fresh air to do his magic. And every time the Super Eagles showed up at the field of play, there was something different. There was something different about the players. They knew, like Ramsey mentioned, if you saw the 10 City, the drama that played out with what's his name, and Lookman. Despite that, for me, I kept saying this had to do with passion. It had to do with the zeal for the game. People misinterpreted, because even when colleagues were asking the questions, that sport analysts were asking, that was the wrong move to do with your teammates in the field of play. And Lookman kept saying it was about the game. He's my brother, and because it's just the game. It's just like, but when we want to do our programs, we know how it gets intense. You know? So you know how the drama plays out. So what else? So I'm looking at this. What traditional powerhouses are being tested by fearless underdogs over time. That's what we've seen in this particular AFCON. The defensive organization is proving just as decisive as attacking flair. Goalkeepers and also set the pieces together. Also, once again, the central to match outcomes. If you see the defensive line, you see the midfield, you see everything has shown that African football is taking a different tone, a different stage. But this stage of the tournament right now, what we've seen so far, it shows reinforced energy. One truth is the AFCON margins are razor thin. If you check out the teams, they are razor thin. So if you look at it, everyone is not a team to throw away. It's not a team to just overdo. And what I love the Super Eagles fact that they respect everything that came out to play. even though they knew, they will not tell you we win over this one. They will tell you we respect our team players because everybody's hungry.
Everybody's hungry. And that's what played out.
To make a name. But let's look at a tactical view. What stands out tactically? Is it the evolution of African football? In this evolution, is it the teams? Is it that teams are no longer relying solely on physicality or individual brilliance? We're seeing comebacks, mid blocks, and discipline, pressing, intelligence, game management, all of that, and coaches willing to adapt systems mid-match, all of that come into play. Ramsey, let's look at this. What really stood out for you in this particular AFCON? This is the 35th AFCON, and for the first time, we saw a different energy. For you, tactically, what changed for you in this AFCON?
That is to tell you that Africa is evolving seriously as it has to do with sport, especially the round leader game.
Okay.
And that's exactly what was proven. In this AFCON so far, there is, forget about the fact that some countries didn't make it to where Nigeria made it to. But you can see the level of hunger with which they came for the AFCON.
Amazing.
And there is this unity. If after every game, you see whether I am losing or I'm winning, you see the synchronization, the way they hug, the way they shake themselves. You see that either these guys are playing in the same club in Europe or in Italy or in Germany or somewhere. You see that unity, bros. Now don't win also, but we're still brothers. The game must go on. We'll meet again. That for me speaks volume. All right, despite the fact that in our final match, we saw the reaction from our opponents, but that's notwithstanding. Okay,
it showed the passion for football.
It showed the passion for football. And you see, one thing again is the understanding that Nigerians are beginning to have. You can see the passion. Anywhere you watch that game, you can see that somebody says something. He said one of the things that is uniting Nigerians now, that is making Nigerians laugh and eat and enjoy, relax together, marry together, is this game.
Exactly.
Because during that game, everybody forgot insecurity.
But that was not the talk. That's one thing I always talk about sports. That sports is one energetic thing you cannot throw away. Is one can I call it purifier? It just purifies
it's a unifying factor.
It's
a cleanser.
That's what I talk about purifying. Your brain just settles in if you have compassion, if you love what you do. But let's see, this is no longer just a tournament of talent, it's a tournament of ideas.
That's right.
That's what we've seen. Let's look at this, Samuel. We saw the officiating.
Yes.
Officiating was one area where concerns, just like Ramsey mentioned. When we played Algeria, when Spain played Algeria also complained about the officiating, and Nigerians were just a bit calm. Right, because it wasn't for Nigeria. But when we played the Moroccans, and then we had the Ghanaian referee did that's what he did, and even the Moroccans, we did on Talk Sports during the weekend. We had where we talked about this, where the Moroccans said Nigeria has been a formidable force in African football all the time. This is something you cannot tell with. Moroccans were skeptical going into the game because they knew Nigeria was not a team to toil with. But the officiating was one concern that has been in the front burner of conversation. What's your thought basically about the Ghanaian referee? Do you think he did enough? Do you think he kept up to standard in the officiating thing that played out for us during the Moroccan game?
For one, I'm not a professional referee, but I'm a fan, and I'm someone that I've been watching football for longest, and I've even played at some point. So looking at his officiating was horrible. It was terrible. I've never seen any officiating worse like that. Even in the street footballs that get played here in Nigeria, people don't officiate as bad as that. At some point, the commentators were like, okay, the Moroccans and the Super Eagles player at some point were not even sure of who has the ball.
Exactly.
Because he made a call. He made a call, and everybody was just standing. All right, tell us.
So
what's the call? You understand?
Yeah.
What's the call? So a lot of questions were being asked. And then looking at the Moroccan side now, investigations are ongoing. I watched the match, aside being a Nigerian. Yes, there were some calls that were favorable to Nigeria, but not to the level of the fact that the two teams do not understand what's going on the field of play. So I think that last officiating was very, very poor by Daniel Olaiya, the Ghanaian. I don't know. We've won this jollof rice battle. The Nigerian jollof is better. So why we've won this jollof rice battle? So I don't know why. Yes,
the truth is, after that game, he would go back and watch that match and blame himself.
Oh, really?
If he has, because I know even before the end of that game, I know some of his colleagues, you know, even this the line referees and the rest, they must have told him, no, you don't have to like this. Because, okay, look at that yellow card that was given to
Kelvin. Jesus, how do I explain to my child?
On the social media, somebody's dragging me. I'm in front. Somebody's dragging my shirt. It's obvious. You're still giving me yellow card. What did I do? That's why at a point, if he make a call, people be wondering. People be looking.
So
what is he going to do? What is he going to say?
All right. So we'll see that play out for us. But let's see. Yes, he made some calls that were not really exciting or not in track with what Nigerians expecting. So a lot of people are concerned that can politics be taken out of African football?
That's a very big question.
That's a very big question.
Because a lot of people felt, for our colleagues who were on ground, we were watching on this side, and we had colleagues on ground who were watching like, this had to do with politics. I don't know. How is politics always playing into a whole lot of things?
If you look at it now, actually, it's making a lot of sense now because it seems politics is getting into sports now properly. Because looking at the last AFCON, Nigeria advanced to the finals against Ivory Coast, and then tickets were sold mostly to the Ivorians. It's just the supporters club and the few that were able to get tickets way before the final date.
But there was no supporting Ivory Coast.
Yes, just a few. And then it got to a point they were even restricting some fans, Super Eagles fans, of even entering inside the stadium. We saw all of those reports. Now, we are now saying that, okay, 70,000 capacity stadium. We saw videos circulating social media where Victor Nwabali's towel was just being taken away by the Moroccans. It's all over the social media. And then we're seeing referees now favoring Morocco, the host nation. Yes, they have all the advantage. They have they're in their city, they're at home, their family and friends are supporting. Now it's looking as if the way AFCON is going is host nation that gets to win. No doubt the Moroccan side are good. They're playing very good football, but the officiating, helped them a whole lot in the whole this thing. And then we've seen how the trajectory has been going. If you've been following the game, some calls shows that the Moroccans are being favored, basically. So we're just hoping that this doesn't eat deep, because nations that wouldn't be able to host AFCON might never win it if they don't get to host it. So this is why we need to see other African nations improving their infrastructure in terms of sports development, so as they will also bid properly for all of this, because Morocco will still be hosting till 2030. Because have you seen Rabat? Have you seen Rabat? Rabat is beautiful.
It's beautiful. We need to be there.
The thing that has played out for a lot of sport right now across the world is that sport is actually moving from just the normal play in the field of play and all that. It's true that the economy is also displaying this, because Morocco has had to host tournaments back to back. Don't forget the WAFCON is also going to take there
in Morocco still.
So as somebody has
so much money.
Exactly. So
like you're thinking about it economically. Yes.
If you see, that's why you see even the NSC, that's National Sports Commission, have actually pushing a lot to see how they can get
Commonwealth
Games.
Yeah.
All that
Let's get the host
to
right.
See how that can come to play for Nigerians as well. Well, give it to the NSC as well. They've also pushed for, because we look at 2025, we had a lot of international tournaments.
Over 15 international tournaments
to play. But we're also looking at the broader picture where more of that can. Before we move away from that conversation on AFCON, we've seen a whole lot play out for African football, because we're witnessing a shift in African football power, and I asked the question, is it simply a natural competitiveness, or has AFCON been known for this kind of competitiveness over the years? Let's look at when we had the likes of JJ Okocha, what's his name, Kanu Nwankwo, and all of those
Didier
people.
Drogba,
You know,
Samuel Eto'o.
all of those.
Eto'o Fields.
So I just saying we're getting back in the mojo of that kind of football now with what we're seeing in AFCON, the 35th AFCON.
You know, the whole thing, it has all involved. The tiki-taka now is what all African, that was what was being played.
Yeah.
You know, tactics has changed. It's no longer, you know, business as usual. And, you know, back in the day, during the era of, you know, Kanu Nwankwo, Samuel Eto'o, Didier Drogba, we do see a lot of funny hairstyles, but now, it's becoming very simple because I don't know if maybe these individuals that are playing currently, most of them were born abroad and then they've lived abroad and then they are playing abroad. So looking at the technicality now of AFCON generally, it's been amazing. It's very different from what we used to see before. Like, there is no lot of physicality this time around. Yes, it was a bit physical, but not as the way it used to be. Because then it's either you're guiding yourself properly or you'll be on the stretcher out. You know, if you hold the ball too much, you find yourself on the stretcher. It's just one player from Senegal that's talking about Jackson who got sent off twice. You know, he missed 2 games based on red cards that he got twice. So he's the only player. So looking at it now, no more red cards based on the fact that the matches were not that physical. It was just based on technicality. Give me the ball, I give you back, and then that was just what we see. Tiki-taka was what happened.
Okay, so Ramsey, for me, I see with what we've seen so far from the semi-finals, from the group stages, and all of those things that played out. The big question is clear: who truly looks like champions in this particular tournament from all the teams that have played so far? Would you say the last 4 countries? That's just my thinking, but I'm throwing that back to you. Who truly looks like champions among the national teams across?
4.
Okay.
For me, I think the last 4. And from the last 4, the last 3, the last 2.
I like the last 2.
No, I need to add Nigeria. I need to add Nigeria to it. But I think that's the truth. Because even in Africa, if you want to mention, countries that if they pair you with, you say, man, I'm in this group. You know, these are countries that people are scared of. And you know, football with the mind game thing and all of that, you're going into the field of play, you have this feeling. Though everyone goes there to play, just play to win. But you know that, this one I'm going to play like this is 1/2 thing. It's a probability. I may and I may not. So with that subconsciousness, as you're going into the game, you know that, yes, this is what happened and I'm cool with it. But for Nigeria, Egypt, Morocco, and of course Senegal, these guys, anytime, any day, you can give it to them. But I wish they just, the process cannot be so. They just pick these 4 countries and say, okay, in the next World Cup, nothing like qualifiers. These 4 guys should just go.
Just go straight up.
It just goes straight up. I wish it's like that, but it's not like that.
All right, but Samuel, what's basically because we've seen favorites still have pedigrees, but fatigue also playing now. We've seen injuries, we've seen pressure, and now beginning to show in the times of the strength and capacity playing out for all those teams. Meanwhile, the so-called underdogs, who were known to be underdogs, are calling with freedom, and they are dangerous at this stage. A whole lot of dangerous mindsets playing out for all the team. Just like Ramsey has said, he has given, he wished of some names that just be added to the thing. But we've seen pedigree, we've seen a lot of players, we've seen passion, we've seen zeal. So for you, what would you say has stood out for this major big names, which will be your best for nations or best teams so far?
You know, aside sentiments, it has to be between Nigeria and Morocco. Why? Because I'm looking at the depth of the 2 teams now. Looking at the first 11 and the second 11. So let's talk about the Super Eagles first. William Strauss-Ekong retired. Did we feel his absence? We literally did not feel his absence. Yeah, we might felt maybe experience would have played in, but was his absence really felt? All the places where I watched the ball, right? Nobody said, William Ekong no deal, who go play this defense for us? What you get to hear is Ajayi and Bassi are good. And we saw them being good.
Fantastic.
You know, Aina was not around. Bruno Onyemechi was there. You understand? Osai was also there. So looking at the depth now, so we are not talking about those guys on the bench now. These ones now, the depth is there. Now, when Wilfred Ndidi got injured, you know, Raphael Onyedika stepped in. He even scored 2 goals against Mozambique.
Exactly.
So Then going to our midfield, Alex Iwobi, Frank Onyedika, it shows the depth of the Super Eagles is just good. They're talking about their attacking force. These guys are the first 11 for their club sides. So we're not even going there. Then now let's go to Morocco. Looking at the Moroccan side, Hakimi and the rest of them and the gang, they are all good. So now, what I wanted when this AFCON started, my prediction was like, I want to see the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Morocco play the final. But now we got to see final before final, and, and the two teams, and then the two teams actually felt it. You know, there's something they always say, when two giants fight or elephants fight, the ground feels the brunt. So that was what happened. What we saw was almost like, you know, the same 2008 Champions League final between AC Milan and Inter Milan. Those two teams, when you have the likes of Beckham, Ronaldo, Pirlo and the rest of them playing at the same time. So we saw the best of the best play football then, and then that was what we saw being replicated. So as it stands now, you know, I'm going to go with Senegal because I'm not happy Morocco defeated.
So, but don't forget, Morocco is hosting you. So you better know what you're sharing.
Senegal is going to win.
Senegal has a good squad.
Senegal is going to win. Apart from the fact that, I don't know, well, with due respect anyway, that referee that referred our game between us and Morocco was scared of the crowd.
Yes.
He was, yes, because of what happened in our previous game where they were running after
the other referee.
Probably that's the reason.
So he was just trying to play smart.
He was just trying to play smart. Okay. But this game, this final, tomorrow.
But I'm still going to be happy for the Moroccan side if they get to win, because they've not won in like 50 years.
Yes, and
so
they need it.
So
they should just, at least after spending the whole money,
we have our support.
Well, we still talk sports special, and a whole lot happening. Like we told you, we're going to make it kind of interesting for you. And you've seen the passion from my left side, right wing here, doing so fantastic. That's telling that Super Eagles AFCON is actually taking a new dimension and a whole lot playing out for the African football. And we look forward to more exciting unraveling happening in African football. But let's quickly take this break, and when we come back, we'll bring you all the exciting stories you need to hear in the world of sports. Please stay with us.
CAF anthem and